So the plan is clap and go. We're going to snap down to side control to Americana, provoking one of two responses, hopefully, and turning that into a back take. He goes for a shot here, gets my leg. I start sprawling out, getting heavy on my... I tried to spin around to get to his back, but he pins my elbow there, you can see, which prevents the spin around. So unfortunately, I ended up on the bottom here, so immediately I start blocking the knee. I'm trying to re-guard, get my frames in here. I tried for a sweep, and he did a good job countering it, so I backed off so I didn't want to burn a bunch of strength on it. And I start trying to sit up here, wrestle up. Again, he's moving to side control, so I'm framing, trying to block that knee, blocking it from getting around, staying on my side so he can't flatten me out. And he actually did a good job here, like switching his directions and jumping over my knees and getting to side control. So I immediately kind of spin to my side here, trying to get off my back. When you're flat on your back and the guy's bigger and heavier than you, it burns a lot of your strength. But I'm able to get to my side, which allowed me to get my legs back in, and I'm officially back in to guard here. So we kind of start the hand battle. I'm working on trying to get a 2-on-1 so that I can work on getting a sweep. But he's doing a good job of posturing up and just pinning my hips to the mat. And if I would have realized this a little sooner, I could have used that to my advantage. Ultimately, I do, but I'm still working on 2-on-1s. He's posturing up, so then bam, right here it is. That's what you should do, right? Scoot your hips out, sit up. From there, he tries to wrestle up, so do I. I screwed up. You can see my face. I'm disappointed again because I'm back on the ground, but you know, it's good practice to know how not to get submitted. Here we're getting flat, so first things first, getting my frames in. After I get my frames and I can Pez dispenser his head and his neck, I get to my side, and then I use that to try to get to my knees and get my legs back in the game. He's working on an arm attack here and moves to tactical mount. I feel the arm bar coming, so I start turtling up so that I can get to a leg. I successfully get the leg, and now it's just an inch-by-inch battle. I'm just slowly inching out, and whether he realizes it or not, this armbar attempt is over. So I start getting my head up and over, and it's just a game of inches at this point. I'm slowly working on getting around this corner with my head. Once I do, I get the overhook with my hand to kind of help start getting the rest of my body up and over. He finally lets go of it, realizes I'm passing. I immediately jump up, and I start isolating this leg as I see it's already close to the mat. So I have long lever control. I push his knee to the floor, and I knee slice in. Boom. Most people respond like he does here by bringing that knee up, and I'm waiting for it. As soon as I see it, I C-cup the knee, and I compress both knees together. Boom, right there. And then initially here, I was just going to step over, but I see I can actually get to mount. So I just shoot straight to mount, and I go right into attacking the arm triangle. He starts bridging up, trying to sweep over here, but I've got a pretty good grip on his neck, so he switches to trying to frame on my face and get me off of the neck attack, which is a good choice because I was getting pretty deep on the choke. He starts hipping over. I realize I was kind of losing position, so I kind of straightened his leg out there. He's still fighting position. I'm trying to get that arm up, and then again, you can see right here, the ref starts mumbling to me again, hey, you need to try a different attack. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I switch to Americana, and unfortunately my arm is underneath, so I notice that right here in the tripod, and as I come out, I try to heave it right there. You kind of see it. I try to heave it up and over, but he's doing a good job with that hand of pulling my shoulder down, and you can see my face. I'm trying to get my arm around his head so that I can go back to actually getting that submission successfully. We transition to the other arm, and then he gives me a back take opportunity, so I switch to that instead. Start trying to go for the back take. I get my knee up high to his shoulder, and I pull him right into a triangle here. This is a good mechanism to control the person so that you can attack the neck. I've wrapped my one leg across his hips, and I've used that to lock up. I transition to double hooks here to try to score some points because my coach, my teammates are yelling at me to score points. I didn't know that, but I did what they said. Release the body triangle, went for the hooks to get the points. He starts spinning out. I try to go to mount, which turns into me being on the bottom in guard. And at this point, the match is getting pretty close to being done. I'm just working on trying to get out of this position back to a dominant position so that we can go for the submission. I lock up a neck and an arm here, and my thought was I was going to go for a back take, but he's pretty slippery and sweaty at this point. So I had a hard time holding him in it. He sits up right away, so I start sitting up to match it and go for an arm drag. He pushes me back to the mat as I'm trying to 2-on-1 for wrist control. He gets a frame on my neck, which is what I wanted, so I could push past my elbow, but I screwed up, and he gets up around my head. And then at the last ditch effort to try to win, he basically covers my mouth and my nose with his hand and just tripods up and tries to suffocate me to finish. But I'm already beating him on points, so I start extending my legs and trying to escape, and time runs out, so it's over, and that's a wrap.